Hey guys, I wanted to provide an update and share my thoughts on my pole machine mountain bike. I've had it over 6 months now and I love this thing. It is amazing. It was well worth the cost, and I definitely recommend the pole machine. If you're into enduro, any kind of downhill, it's an amazing bike. It's advertised as a super bike, and I agree. My skills are not up to the level where I can exploit this thing for what it can do. It is so inherently fast downhill and stable through the turns. It has made me a better and faster mountain biker than I've ever been without even trying. One thing that really surprised me about it though is how well it pedals uphill. I figured that a harder uphill climb would be a sacrifice for the fun of going downhill on a bike like this, but it is actually faster, easier to pedal uphill, just all around better climber than my old trail bike. So I couldn't be happier. Never heard of bike yoke before, and it came as part of the build, but this is an amazing dropper seat post. It is very quick to pop up, and it's actually very easy to push down. You can do it with just a finger, and I don't know how they get that technology built in there, but it's really a great dropper. 29-inch tires are amazing. I'm rolling over things I never did before. My old bike was a 27.5, and I just really love this thing. My only complaint so far has been the coil shock. Now, I'm definitely a coil shock fan after getting this, but I didn't feel as much of a difference on this bike compared to an air shock that I heard I should feel. So I checked the sag on it, and it's actually pretty low for me. The sag's at about 15%, and it should be running close to 30. But I didn't want to buy a softer spring that might end up being too soft because of the jump down and the weight. And it just so happened that a few weeks ago I came across a video that talked about the Sprindex brand spring for coil shocks, and it's an adjustable spring. Well, with the 450-pound spring on this bike being too firm, I decided to buy one and go with the 390 to 430-pound adjustable spring rate. So I'm going to install that on my bike now, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. I've removed my coil shock, which is a RockShox Super Deluxe R. And as I mentioned before, it has a 450-pound spring. Spring rate of 390 pounds, all the way up to 430. And it's adjusted by turning this device at the bottom, and it shows the pounds in this little window. And the purpose for having an adjustable shock is sometimes you ride with a hydration pack, sometimes you don't. Different terrain, you might want different spring rates for different types of terrain, different trails you're riding. And this is adjustable on the fly. You can just reach down at your shock and turn it. And I will give you a review later, or at least let you know in another video what I think about it, but it looks very promising and it gets good reviews. You begin by turning this dial at the top. It's a little nut that you use to put preload on your spring, and also holds the spring in place, keeps it from moving. Spin this all the way up to the top. You slide the spring up and remove the washer from the bottom. And then the spring slides off. Sprindex provides a video on their website that shows that you can install their spring this way or this way. Doesn't matter. I already checked on the frame on my machine. It probably will not fit this way because the spring comes in very, very close proximity to the frame. And this gray piece here sticks out a little bit from the spring, and that I think it would rub if it was installed this way. So I'm going to install it kind of in an upside down fashion. They provide washers Sprindex that you have to install beforehand. This is the one for the RockShox, and there's instructions on how to do that. So we'll put that on first. I'm going to slide the spring on. And we put the washer back in place. Set the spring down on it. And we'll start dialing this in. Once this nut makes contact and takes the play out of the spring, then you're going to turn it 2 more times. And 1 more time around. Then you can actually turn the spring, so you'll be able to see it in the frame at what setting your pounds, where your pounds are set. I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to go install this back on my bike, and I'll let you guys know later what I think of it.